Hey guys, it's Zenith Darksky Game News. Welcome to episode 2 of Darksky Game News. I wanted to thank you guys real quick for the support on episode 1. I appreciate it. I did better than I thought. I have videos obviously with more views than that, but I didn't expect this to really get any views, kind of like it did before in the past. But either way, let's just get right into it today. And first off, let's get into one of the big controversies of the past week. On Friday, Xbox decided that they would announce a raise in their Xbox Live Gold prices, going from $10.99 from $9.99 for 1 month, $29.99 from $24.99 for 3 months, and 6 months up to $59.99, up from $39.99, with no year-long membership anymore. Now, there was a lot of speculation stating that this was a move to push people to Game Pass Ultimate, which is $14.99 a month, and arguably better, and was going to stay that way after all the price changes. But no worries to you Xbox gamers out there, because they got so much negative response that Microsoft has now backpedaled on this, while also stating that they will be implementing free-to-play games that will not need Xbox Live Gold to play as they previously have. So good job, gamers. We did it. Our anger led to victory. The Sith have won the day. Resident Evil had their showcase this week, and while short and not full of what fans were really wanting, there's a lot to unpack. Let's start with a rundown of what we know. We were gifted with a new look at Resident Evil Village through a new trailer, while also showing us a new gameplay trailer as well. And as you would expect if you played RE7, it looked like Resident Evil 7. You play in first person and fight all sorts of creatures and whatnot, whilst trying to sneak around and solve puzzles. This setting is beautiful, which we didn't see a whole lot more of, really. We saw a lot more of the castle and about the same amount of the village we'd seen before. But the game does have a few deviations from 7, which are interesting to say the least, and I'll hit on those in a minute. RE8 is expected to release on May 7th of this year, but if you want to get your hands on the game right now, then they also released a demo in the same vein as the demo for Resident Evil 7, if you guys remember that, for this game on PS5, with a promise of a demo on other platforms coming later down the road. The demo is called Maiden. I have played it. It is short, sweet, but pretty fun. They also announced and showed a trailer for a new multiplayer PvP game called Reverse. RE:verse, or Reverse. This is what appears to be a 4-6 multiplayer deathmatch style PvP game where you play as characters from the RE franchise in a comic book-esque cel-shaded graphic style. It also appears that if you die in the game, you become one of the series' famous villains. So that's pretty cool too. I'm actually pretty interested in this one though. If you're interested in it, then you can get the game for free if you pre-order Resident Evil 8. We're not clear on an exact release date though for Reverse. They also showed us another look at the new 3D CGI Netflix series Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, which is set to launch sometime in 2021, with Claire Redfield and Leon Kennedy being the primary protagonists. The movie is also supposedly set sometime after RE4. Now, let me quickly give you guys my theories on all of this, because I recently speculated that maybe we'd see some RE4 remake news in the Resident Evil showcase, which we didn't, really. But, hold on. The merchant, like in Resident Evil 4, is back in some way in Resident Evil 8. His name is now the Duke, and he's gained a little weight. Also, the inventory system from Resident Evil 8 is reminiscent of the inventory system in RE4, which they noted specifically. They wanted us to know specifically. Then, like I had just reported, the CGI series is being based after Resident Evil 4, so this all seems to lend some weight to the theory that RE4 is getting a remake, because why else use characters and assets that you could easily reuse for RE4's remake, but also, why so much emphasis on RE4? There were reports we get an RE4 remake in 2022, but now these reports have seemingly been delayed to 2023 because of creative differences. Basically, the main thing here that happened is one studio was working on RE4 remake in a shot-for-shot style remake similar to the other remakes, but Capcom reportedly wanted them to do more with RE4 this time around. So it seems like Capcom is trying to capitalize off of Resident Evil 4 success in the past. Moving on, according to a recent podcast and insider, there is a report that a new Knights of the Old Republic set Star Wars game is in development, with Jason Schreier, a famed gaming insider, to state that you won't guess the studio. The podcasters went on speculating that it could be Activision on the off chance that it's a remake since they have history, but that particular studio is Vicarious Visions that does their remakes. So that's doubtful, and I'll hit on that in a second, why that's doubtful for me. But there's also a lot of speculation that the game could or couldn't have EA and BioWare working on it. For those that don't know, the old Knights of the Old Republic games were made by BioWare and Obsidian. Now, I'd like to point out that EA does still have at least one unannounced game within the Star Wars property, but it's most likely Battlefront 3. But if the studio is not one we would expect, then that could potentially rule out BioWare, because I guarantee most fans of the old games want it to be BioWare. BioWare is extremely busy with a bunch of games as well, though, Dragon Age and Anthem and Mass Effect being the biggest ones. My theory is that the studio could be Obsidian. Most people attribute the development of the old KOTOR games primarily to BioWare, but Obsidian had a big impact as well, and while Obsidian has a couple of projects that we already know about in the works, one being Grounded, which is a survival game for Game Pass, and Avowed, which I know nothing about. That doesn't mean that Obsidian, under recent new ownership of Microsoft, aren't trying to get their hands back in the Star Wars universe, and I think that would be great. I mean, they do some fantastic RPG games, including Fallout New Vegas, which is arguably the best Fallout game, in my opinion. And then as recent as the Outer Worlds games, both being in a similar style of RPG that I would argue would be the best for the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, but we'll see. Also, I'd just like to see so much of KOTOR being made canon again, besides the few nods in The Rise of Skywalker. Now, I know I just wiped away Vicarious Visions from the board with no rhyme or reason. Well, it's because recently Vicarious Visions was absorbed by Blizzard. Vicarious Visions was a studio that had recent success with the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, and was the support team for Destiny 2. Now, that doesn't mean that they couldn't be working on the KOTOR remake, but it's very unlikely since it's been reported that the Diablo 2 remake, reportedly named Diablo 2 Resurrected, has been left to Vicarious Visions to remake. This falls in line with reports that the team behind Warcraft 3's Off remake did not live up to Blizzard standards, and Vicarious Visions has reportedly been working on the Diablo franchise with Blizzard. So here's hoping that we see a new and great Diablo 2 remake just in time to get us pumped for Diablo 4 and Immortal. Naughty Dog's next game may be a fantasy game according to concept art posted by one of Naughty Dog's artists. The artist posted on Twitter that it was inspired by Assassin's Creed Valhalla and not their new game, but it still leads to speculation that the artist could be trying to cover their tracks. So maybe fantasy setting. I'm gonna go through some news here, kind of just shooting shit at you, just quick little things that happened over the week that don't have so much information to report on like the other topics on this video, but you know, we're gonna just try to get through these as quick as possible here. The creators of Limbo and Inside Play Dead have recently revealed some new details about their next game with some art as well. The art in question seems to allude to the idea of a third-person science fiction adventure. This would line up with the types of games they've done before, so I have high hopes for this. Gabe Newell from Valve has recently announced that the studio is working on multiple unannounced games that they're going to announce at some point in the future, most likely single player. Takaya Imamura, the Nintendo artist and designer that gave us characters like Captain Falcon and Fox McCloud while also giving life to Majora's Mask, has retired from Nintendo after 32 years. The PUBG developers are reportedly working on a mobile battle royale slated for release this year, while 2022 will also see a PUBG-related game for PC and console, potentially single player. Dragon Nest and Drodo, developers of Auto Chess, have announced an auto chess inspired MOBA, thus creating a reality of MOBA/spin-off Inception. Ninja Gaiden and Dead or Alive's Tomonobu Itagaki, has started a new studio, with Itagaki saying it would be an honor for me to work with Microsoft again, so potentially more Ninja Gaiden stuff in the future, maybe, hopefully. Sony has created a new studio to work on existing franchises. There is a lot of speculation, with reason, that they could be working on Uncharted 5. And stay tuned for more there, because if that's true, I'm sure we'll see something out of that soon enough. The games releasing in the upcoming week are as follows. Tuesday, January 26th, we have Cyber Shadow coming out for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Stronghold Warlords for PC, and The Sims 4 Paranormal Stuff Pack for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC as well. Wednesday, January 27th, we see Right, The Eye of Atlantis coming out on PC. The Dark Eye, Chains of Satanav on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. The Dark Eye Memoria for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. On Thursday, January 28th, we see Disjunction, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC. Also, a game called Olija, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, for Switch and PC. Then Sword of the Necromancer on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, PC. The Medium on Xbox Series X and S and PC, and that's all in Game Pass, I believe. So, the Yakuza Remastered Collection on Xbox One and PC. Touhou for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, Stadia, and PC. And on Friday, January 29th, Bonkies, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, and then Gods Will Fall for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, Stadia, and PC. I hope you guys enjoyed that little news roundup for this week. A lot of stuff came out this week. That's why I kind of did a rapid fire thing right there at the end for a lot of the news, and then I gave you guys the big stuff at the beginning. Tell me if you guys like that, or if you guys would like me to fully report on everything, or if you guys want to see me do it faster, just give you more of a rapid fire thing, even for the big topics, just hitting like the highlights of it, no theories and stuff like that. Let me know what you guys want to see done to the series, because I'm glad to be back working on this series again. It was a passion of mine in the first place. It's the whole reason I started a YouTube channel first, and then I wanted to do gameplays and stuff too. But here we are. So tell me what you guys thought of this, and give me your theories on some of the news below in the comments. Remember to hit the like button, share this around with your family and friends if they're interested in gaming news, so that they can get the latest news as well from the previous week if you guys maybe don't keep up with it. And also be sure to subscribe, because most of you guys that have watched the videos are not subscribed, so I'd like to see more subscriptions coming through as well. Either way, thank you guys so much. I'm Zenith Darksky with Darksky Game News. Get gaming.